So it's kind of like that's in my space right now. Kind of like.
Where are you moving?
I'm still looking at different places, but my lease is up here, so I have a couple weeks to figure that out. So I've just been looking all over North County and downtown, and so I'm not sure yet.
Couple of weeks, you got to get moving, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. What's your price range?
Probably 1,800.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I don't know anything up here by the beach that's
Yeah.
Oh, there they all are.
Yeah, everybody's on.
Oh, I'm turning my camera off. Oh.
Too funny. All right.
Hello.
We are on. Hello, Billy. How are you?
Hello. Great.
Are you laying down?
Yes, I'm laying down because I'm sitting all day, so I cannot work. It's evening here, so after 12 hours of in the chair, I cannot more sit.
All right, we'll get up and do our exercises. How's that?
That's good. That sounds good.
All right, we'll take it with you. All right, well, let's dive in. Ani and I were just catching up. She's going to be moving in 3 weeks, doesn't have a place, so she's got that going on, remember life and business.
Mm-hmm.
Ani, why don't you start us off with business wins, and then Billy, you can do that. Donna, I don't think is going to be here. She has a big, she had her cooking event. They got massive media exposure. The chefs that she gave products to won awards and all this stuff. So she's still caught up in that world right now. But she wanted everybody to know she's doing awesome and excited to reconnect. And I'm waiting to hear from Jeff. I thought he was going to be on. So Ani, why don't you kick it off? Billy, you go, and then we'll dive in. Wins.
Okay, really quickly. So yeah, I'm just finishing 3 of my projects, so that's good. Kind of finalizing some of the projects that were pending. And then I have a couple of projects that I'm working on converting for in North County, and these are coming in through the West Elm pipeline, like working with them. And so, that seems to be good. And doing more like short consultings as well. So not everything's turning into like a big project. Everything's a remodel. So yeah.
What's the actual revenue and sales that have come in?
So far it's been, so I had that development project, and it's kind of like smaller consulting. So it's just been just under five grand. So
just under $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And that's collected, or that's new sales?
Yeah, it's collected. That's everything up to date. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then in new sales, what's come in?
I don't have any new sales. I'm going to follow up with 2 projects that will hopefully convert. So
all right.
Hopefully I'll have some news next time.
All right. Yeah. And so what we'll start to work on is collected,
mm-hmm.
new sales,
mm-hmm.
revenue, new sales, and then pipeline. What's on the plate? 5 deals that could be worth X, 2 deals
mm-hmm.
that could be worth Y, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get in the habit as CEOs of showing up and saying, here's the bottom line, and here's what's in the pipeline. Here's where I need help. And that's not a normal conversation for most of you yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we want to show up, and migrate into more of a data-driven company where you make
mm-hmm.
decisions based on data. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, Billy, you ready to rock?
Yeah, I finally finished all around the papers.
Say that again. You finished.
I finally finished all around the papers of the company, so it's done. If you think to open something in Italy, forget it. Go somewhere else. It took much longer that I was thinking, but however, it's done. So now now I'm catching up with all the other things that I wanted to do. So I started to contact the people that I was thinking to contact before. So in order to start selling, actually, to start having the income and the revenues. Also, I started one LinkedIn campaign through my LinkedIn. So I'm contacting also the people through LinkedIn. So these are the channels for time being. I have here in the city where I live few people to contact, and then also in other cities.
So, all right. So I'm going to just clarify. So finish
Yes.
setting up the company paperwork. So you're a legit company now.
Yes.
Which I know is a bit of a challenge. You said you're catching up on other things that you wanted to do. Is that the contacting a prospect?
Yes, contact. Yes. Yeah, I was thinking to do that much before, not after 2 months that we are speaking, but however.
Yep. Okay. So, and how many prospects did you actually connect with?
Five in here live.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you contacted them, was it, like what stage of the sales cycle? Was it starting with the assessment conversation?
No, it's just the first contact, just the first contact. Since I know them, so just to be in touch to let them know that that now I am available, so that I am available, so that we can meet.
Okay, so you're creating interest is
Yes.
stage one.
Mm.
Okay, and so you create interest, you create that connection,
Yeah.
and you move them to your next stage might be the assessment.
Yeah.
Like what
They already told me before, no, so it's not something completely new. But now we have just to find the time when to meet. It was also the period before Christmas, so it's a crazy period.
All right, well, perfect. One of the things I'd like to see for both of your businesses, I'd like to see the stages of your business. So, and this is your sales process pipeline. So you've got people who don't know anything about you. What do you call stage one? So for example, in our solar company is probably the better formula for us because it's got 5 distinct stages. But the first stage is to create interest, right? We call it spark interest because it's solar, electricity, all that. So it's sparking interest. Then the next stage is qualify. Okay. Once we spark interest and qualify, we move to the proposal. So we've gotten their electric bill, right? They've said they understand the concept of solar to save them money. We've educated them a little bit in the spark interest and the qualify stage. We've made sure that their house, doesn't have shade, that they spend enough electricity, that kind of thing. We're making sure they're a good client for us. Then we move to what's called the proposal, where we actually take the satellite image of their home. We have their electric bill, and we've run the numbers, and we can show them you're currently paying $500 a month. You'll now be paying $200 a month, and in 10 years, you'll owe nothing. You'll have all your electricity free and clear. That's the proposal. That's where we make our pitch. So we're selling them on solar at that point. From there, it moves to contract. And when they sign that contract, it goes to permitting and installation. And then it's all maintenance after that. So we know where every client is in each of those stages, and we have a dashboard that shows us how many clients are at each stage and why they're falling out if they do. So for each of you, we want to create that visual pipeline so well, these are people in the very beginning. These are the people that have already seen a proposal, right? These are the people that have signed the contract. These are the people that are getting the work done. This is a project now wrapped up, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, because what we want to do is as you build your infrastructure and as you build a true business, the more that we can document the process that you're going to have to do. Ani, you already do this. I don't know. Do you have it documented?
No.
Okay, so we're going to work through some of this, and Billy, you're going to have the similar process that Ani does because you're selling, selling a service, right? Okay. And any company that has any product or service they sell, you have some kind of a pipeline, or in Ultimate Game of Life, we call it the path of the player. From they don't know anything about us to, wow, I'm really interested, to I came in either in a 24-hour challenge, a 28-day challenge, a 90-day challenge. I came in through some other program, and now they're going up our product lines. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's start.
In my case, then I can see also where do they come from, no? Which channels are the most...
Yeah, that's the prior. So, it could come from advertisements. It could come from a network. There's 100 channels. But once they tune into you, how are you creating that interest? So if we take both of you, right? Take Connie. This is not working. Now we take Billy. Okay. You have these stages to your business, and certain stages are going to generate cash. Now, you may have more stages or less or whatever you want, but like I said, in ours, we have 2 stages that we get paid. We get paid at the 2nd stage and the 5th stage. So we get paid when there's an appointment and a proposal done, and we get paid when there's an installation done. So we know that those are 2 revenue: small income, big income. Okay. So we want to look at yours. So right here, stage 1, you're basically creating interest. Ani, talk me through your process so we can map it.
Mm-hmm. So it usually starts with a conversation over the phone, and with a lot of questions and seeing where they're at with their budget, their timeline, their desired, to be completed by, or if it's more of a 1 or 2 or 3 year process. And so
that's your qualifying.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Over the phone.
Stage before that, or do you have that in your first contact with them? Or is that your second, third? Like when does the client open that information to you?
Usually when we set up a time when we've been communicating either via email or texting or Facebook or LinkedIn or something, we're just trying to set up a time to talk on the phone. And then from
so
there,
first stage. So your second stage
is go to the house and or the property, whether it's, if it's commercial or residential, I actually see the space.
Okay. So this is, what would you call that second stage? Qualify?
It's the assessment. It's actually seeing what they need, seeing what they have, if we can reuse anything.
All right. So that's really your assess/qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So you're creating interest in some way, you're scheduling, you're doing, you're framing all this stuff. Then you're assessing and qualify. So for you, this is on site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a fee for that?
I've done both ways. Usually, I've done where it's, if they buy, it's like $200 to start, just for, because they usually give a lot of value. And then that fee can go towards the, if they continue to work for me. And I've also done it where it's kind of a free assessment, depending on where I'm at, where I'm just trying to get projects and leads. So I kind of go back and forth, and I haven't.
So this is a potential for cash trigger. And it also disqualifies some people too. Okay, well, I like that. So that makes sense. What's the next stage? So somebody comes in, because you did that, you came up to the house here, right? In that. So then your next stage is really your proposal. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you go from this where you gather your information, and then however long, and then you do your proposal/pitch.
Yeah. And it also sometimes that happens in the assessment phase as well, where I've So they kind of at some points these stages mix. So I've also done with a hard copy where we've talked over the phone what their budget is, what it's going to cost, and I come to their place, and sometimes I've come with the proposal already in hand during the assessment. Say, okay, would you like to go further? And that seems to convert a lot faster when I'm already have the paperwork in my hand, a hard copy. Okay, this is, if you want to work together, sign here. That usually converts a lot faster than if I wait for a proposal to send them. Then they think about it.
Okay, so you need to do a pre-qualify on the phone to get to the point where you can. Mm-hmm. Interesting. So you're combining these two. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's think through that, because if you're getting that conversions right there, that's great. That just means you're condensing the timeline to purchase, or you're getting a signed contract up front. Like that. So once customer says, "Yeah, I like that," even if this happens together, what's next?
Then it's design phase. So I know at that point what they need, what they're looking for, what their budget is. So I know where to source my items. And so I go through the design phase and the design board phase, and I send them the design boards. And from there, it becomes a conversation, whether it's yay or nay, or if it needs additional design work.
So then it's plus/minus on ideas. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's the design phase, proposal and pitch phase. And then would you say this is implement, or?
Then after design, I can either do the project management and purchase on their behalf. And so then there's the purchasing phase. And they hand me a check, and I just buy everything for them and oversee the installation after that.
Okay. And is there a phase after that?
So if they can either purchase on their own, or if I purchase for them, then I handle the actual installation, where when everything's there, I help them, setting it up, and with styling, like the smaller items, where the pillows go, where the candles, where the art, anything like that. So the actual, installing, putting everything together.
And is there a phase after that?
It's usually it, unless they're doing it room by room, or kind of like an extended. And sometimes it kind of changes. Okay, now we're going to work on this room, and then we do that again.
But that's still this kind of, you're adding. So here's what I want you to do, whether I have them right or not. I don't know if you can even see these. Mm-hmm. I want you to, and both of you are going to do this. I want a visual of your stages.
Okay.
I'll show you what I'm talking about, so you see an example of this. I have to pull it. It'll take me a second to pull this up. But do you understand what we're looking for is a visual of your pipeline? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to get this nailed, because before you start driving a bunch of traffic in from whatever source it is, you need your processes down so that you can see where your monetization is, and you can tweak your process. Mm-hmm. You've got your product, but this is your process. And now you know how to turn on the faucet or turn off the faucet, whether you're running ads or doing content marketing or doing joint venture partners or doing live trade shows or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. That's just feeding people into your funnel, your system. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the only way to scale a company is to have a clearly defined system, so that you can put operations and staff to manage this process. And it helps with the customers too, to know here's where I am in the process. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a very clear, straightforward. It'll help you in your pitch also. Any questions about that?
And I've also seen people do ask me, like, what's the process? So would it be of value to once I have it documented and like in a nice, say, Illustrator format, if I were to actually promote this on just like on the website saying this is the process?
Yeah. So CR 5 stages.
Uh-huh.
Right? So, they submit the lead, which means that we have an electric bill and the homeowner's address. They go to a qualification, which is on the phone. Okay, so we're qualifying the home and the roof and their bill, and it's just a conversation. And then we set the appointment with the data that we get from the qualifying and from the submitting stage. We then set the appointment with the solar salesperson to meet with the homeowner to review the proposal or the contract. If they agree, we move to the contract stage. And once they sign the contract, which has the financing and it has, the products we're going to use, has everything in hardcore, then we go behind the scenes, we're doing permitting, but we go to the install stage. So the customer goes through submit and qualified really pretty fast, like within an hour or less. They go to the appointment stage, that takes about an hour. They go to contract, takes about an hour. And then the install. Now we can shorten those times, but that's the 5 stages of getting solar. Right? So if you have, and I don't know if you have 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever stages, but I just drew 5 boxes to get you to force yourself to think that way. The simpler the better, but don't miss any details. So something like this will help you and your team visually have it. Okay. All right. And we color coded ours because, at appointment and install, the blue, that's cash. The solar provider pays us for every appointment, and the solar provider pays us at installation. So that means that we've got revenue at these 2 stages. Okay. And you want to separate your revenue stages from, your fulfillment or operation stages.
Okay.
All right. Questions about that?
No.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Billy, you want to go through kind of your process?
Yeah. The first one is more or less the same, to create the interest, awareness, and also a bit of kind of education what SEO is about, because a lot of people, they think to know about it, but they actually don't know, and also the potential of the SEO and the organic the traffic to the website. So that is the first page, the stage. The second one should be the form that I created now, so that when I get in touch with them, to send them to the website to fill the form.
Okay, so this is
discovery form, right?
Yeah, so this is assess and qualify. Assess or discovery. Okay, and right now you have a form. That's what they fill out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then I do the video analysis of the website, because in the discovery form I have the data that are necessary for me in order to do the analysis. So theoretically, because for me still everything is theory. Theoretically, if it's done well, if they see the value in that, it could be closed after the video analysis.
So the video analysis is what you do. What's your you do the video analysis, but the customer has to review that. Yes,
review, and then or on the phone contact, or to see each other.
So you have to do the video analysis. What's your process? Like I watched the one that you did for Jeff. Okay?
I sent you also for your website this afternoon.
When did you send that?
Yeah, now, like few hours ago.
I didn't see it yet.
No, I didn't even.
I was up till midnight watching the one you did with Jeff. And then I was up at 4 a.m. so I could have time to surf today. That's why I'm eating my breakfast.
No, I did also for your website the first analysis that is one similar for the other prospects. Let's say, and then I will do also another one for your website. What
Okay.
I've seen that is behind the scene. Let's say.
Oh, we've done nothing. If we have any traffic at all, it's just by the grace of God. Okay, so this process, creating interest, is really your education and this is really an education phase, right? Actually, the whole thing is education. But then the assess and discovery form is the client fills out, and then this video analysis you're doing behind the scenes. But I think you know in between here and this, I think this actually ought to be like what. So you did the video analysis. Did you set an appointment to review?
After, yeah. No, first I leave. My idea is to leave to them to call me back. If they, and then if they do not call after certain period, few days, then I call them back or.
Okay, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you with this right off the bat. Okay. Let me show you something. You never want to leave it in their hands to call you back.
Okay.
For what's the reason why? Why would you not leave it in their hands to call you back?
Because they have other things to do. So.
Yeah, they're not dying for SEO.
Yeah.
So if you're a heart surgeon, that client doesn't even want to call their doctor back, and they need to come in for surgery. Okay, they do it because they have to. So the same reason I'm showing our slides again. Our slides.
Yep.
On the qualify appointment or the qualify stage, we set the appointment right then, and we tell the client we're going to call you at 10:30 tomorrow. Or does that work for you? What's your cell phone? We'll text you a couple minutes before we call, because we don't want to chase them. We want a guaranteed time, and we don't want them to have to try to call us. So we set that appointment at the qualify stage, which is day one. We're gonna between the qualifying and the appointment, we're gonna work up your proposal. We're gonna have a graphic design. We're gonna use satellite imaging. We're gonna work on all the financials. We'll show you exactly on our appointment what's going on. I think your process here is leaving too much to chance. I think when the assess and discovery form is done, I think you need to create interest. You give them that form, and when you're giving them that form on the create interest, you're setting the video analysis review. So that when you follow up, it's like, and I'm not sure if doing the video analysis is the best way or not yet. I understand why you're doing it, but if you had a phone call with Jeff or an appointment to say, I'm going to do your review in the next 24 hours. Let's set an appointment to talk, tomorrow,
yes.
10, I will give you the review. So now you're giving them the review, you're hearing feedback, you're doing questions. Jeff can ask questions, and you could have done the same thing in person, or on a computer that you did with on that video, but now you're client engaged.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
So I'm going to say do analysis. Right now you're doing it by video. But that's your sales opportunity, right? And so when you do the analysis, you review. This is really the review. Review your assessment. The top 3 things that we saw, or 5 things, or whatever. And at that point, I think you're doing the review and you're doing the proposal. Then you're going to contract. and then you're going to delivery. So let's take Jeff, for example. Did he fill out his form or no? You just did his site.
Sorry, he filled the form, yeah.
He did. Okay, so he was interested because I said, hey, you should do this. Then he filled out the form. You did a video analysis. Has he followed up with you yet?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think your formula is broken right there.
Okay.
Now, had you set the appointment when he did the form and filled it out, he could have actually gone to a landing page and had the ability to book the review by looking at your calendar by using a software like Calendly.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Makes sense. Yes, makes sense.
Okay, so I think this is client fills out the form and client sets review time.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have, so I have control over the process.
You got it. And that at that point when I fill out, if I went through the hassle of filling out your form, that's when I'm most interested to get the results. So then you come to the review, which has been scheduled here, and they can change the schedule, and you do the review and the proposal. And then at that point, hopefully they'll sign right there. That's the ideal. Like, yeah, this is great. I want to pick one of your packages. Let's go. And they sign the contract. And then, delivery might be, here's the stages we're going to do now. So stage one, the first 30 days we're doing this. The next 30 days we're doing this. So contract and timelines, for example. Right?
Yeah.
All right, you signed. Now we're going to go over what we're doing, and that's a part of your proposal. Your proposal is going to have timelines, but now you agree to it, make any adjustments, and then you go to work. You do your work.
Okay. Makes sense. Yes, makes sense because I had the call there. Waiting.
Well, you had So at every stage, you have a potential to lose clients. And so if you have holes in the ship, you're going to bleed clients out. And we want to make the process, number one, super easy for the client. In other words, it's like, oh, this was easy. This was easy. And you're moving them along the stages to make these decisions. And number two, you want to make it super easy on your side. But yeah, I think you're losing opportunity right here. This would have been a bleeding hole. I don't even know if you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ani, can you see it? Can you see that in hers? Can you see where she would have been losing? Where's yours broken? Where's your funnel broken?
Yeah, usually around the proposal phase, if there's too much time that goes without communicating with them, they change their mind, or it's like, okay, because it's not necessarily something that they need to, have a home design. Oh, I'll wait next year or 3 months, or so budget is a really big thing, that desire and budget.
So in your proposal and pitch stage, that's where this is coming in. You may not be emotionally and logically tying them in enough to the future and showing them the cost of them waiting.
Yeah.
So we'll work on this stage. See, this is what's cool. When you have it in stages, you can go, man, I'm getting a lot of people that are here, but my close ratio here is like 5% or 10%. Well, how do we get that to 20, 30, 40, 50? Well, either what you're doing here is not framing it up right, so that when you get here, they're like, listen, Ani, I can't live in this home one more day. Draining my energy. I'm unfocused. It's costing me millions of dollars. We got to get this in. So you have to create so much desire, and Billy, you have to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So much desire that they're like, how do I work with you now? I don't want to wait 90 days. Like I need this change now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that tells me that the actual psychology side of your presentation is off.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough. It hasn't become a need and a want and an unfilled desire. So there's not enough pain or pleasure associated to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. I'd love it to look better. That's not going to sell the kind of projects you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Billy, with you did a good job when I reviewed yours. I think your proposal, your presentation needs a little bit better because you reviewed the site and some of the numbers and data you gave me was good, but it wasn't presented in a way that created that pain for me. So when you showed Jeff's, right, and you said, hey, here's what you're ranking for, these words, and here's the amount of traffic you're getting, okay? But here's what you could be getting. If you had these kind of keywords, you'd have this much traffic coming in, and here's the revenue. You showed that.
Okay, the difference between two.
You got it. So right now, Jeff, you've got a $2 million company with none of this coming in because your channels are all this. But what if your site brought in another $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000?
Mm-hmm.
You know, would you invest 10 grand in that to get another $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000? So you've got to show the actual numbers, and you did. But it wasn't that clear where they're like, I'd be an idiot not to have somebody doing my SEO. Right? And I think that's just in the presentation because the data's all there. The presentation wasn't there. And one little key to this.
It can't get better.
Well, yeah, no, hopefully you know I'm not being.
Just at the beginning, so the only one way.
Hey, here's the good news. You don't have to struggle at this for 5 years. You know how many people, Ani, you've been in business for how long?
Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And you've had some, you've had some great times and you've had some challenging times because you don't have the process down.
Yeah.
So you're doing and then you're selling and then you're doing and then you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
So traffic just brings people into the front. This is all about conversion. So traffic is driving people in. This is all about the conversion. And you don't want to spend a bunch of money or time with SEO driving a bunch of traffic without the conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be perfect, by the way, but we got to have it defined so you can go, man, I'm bleeding right here. I'm losing all these customers. And this will get us to the point where we go, oh, well, I know how much I can afford to spend to acquire a customer because I know that, 10% of the people that come through the front are going to create interest and get my assessment. Okay, so if I send 100 people through, 10 of them are going to hit here. And if I've got a 10%, from here to the proposal pitch, I've gone down to one person. So now you go, well, now I need 1,000 people coming through. Or I need to crank up the numbers here, and I need to make sure that I get 20% here instead of 10. But you got a system. And then once we've got the system down, now you can put somebody else in to manage this system. So somebody else can drive the traffic. Somebody else can be responsible for conversions. You got to get one of these done, one product, one funnel. And when it's mapped out, now you've got a business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Think about it this way. The mastermind process. Billy, how did you come into the mastermind process?
It was the Facebook Live.
Okay.
Interest. Then it was the assessment.
No.
Through the message.
What
Then
else?
it was the interview, the first interview.
No.
The first interview, and after that, a proposal, results of the assessment. Let's say I cannot see what you are writing. Oh, okay.
So this here was to create interest, which in our case came from what on Facebook. It was a video, right? I did a live stream video, and I had been building relationships prior with all the content, live streams, and all that. That's all just moving clients from cold to warm. And then when I made the create interest was I shot the live stream, and I literally was like, I'm thinking about running this. And then from there, you logged in and you took the assessment, and you scheduled an appointment online, assess an appointment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there we did interview 1, which was my what? My qualify. Because there's a lot of people. I got a stack of applications down here, literally that thick, of people that I'm like, there's no way, I don't want to work with this person. they're not going to fit with this group. So I'm sorting through and getting rid of them. And at the same time, I'm finding out more about each of you. Can I help this person? Are they right fit for the mastermind? Will they succeed? Then it goes to interview 2. Right? So between 1 and 2, I'm also doing the what? I'm handling any objections. I'm sharing with you the structure of the mastermind. I'm finding more about what you want to build. Okay. So then it moves into what? Contract. Okay. And then delivery. Same process, right? So you
and the difference that it was that the schedule and the assessment phase, you already had the schedule, the interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that I can automate and make it faster and easier on the customer and me, I'm going to do that. Right?
Okay.
Now, do I need to do the interviews?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Not necessary. Yeah.
I did probably, 50 of these interviews. They're still going on. Right? Could one of my team members done that first interview, reviewed their answers, qualified or disqualified, and moved them to where me or somebody else did the actual, here's what the mastermind is, here's what da-da-da-da.
Sure.
I can remove myself from the whole process. I wouldn't even have to be out here. I could have somebody else creating the content and running the masterminds. Make sense?
Yep.
It's a system. It's a funnel. And you've been through it. Okay?
Yep.
All right. We want the same thing for you.
Okay.
All right. Any questions about that?
No.
Ani?
No.
Okay. What I'd like to see between now and the next one, and I'll shoot you both a picture.
May I just ask something? Once you have for example, the delivery, and you want to sell again to something to the same person, so you don't have to pass whole process from the beginning. You just continue with the process. You can add something, no?
Yeah.
If you have different, or I don't know if you have different products. I do not have so many different things, but maybe if they go out, I don't know, if they are ranked in the first position, and after they are going on the second position, they can contact, or I can contact them, also these kind of things. So to sell again to the same contact, and you have the shorter period, the first period that is investing time,
This process is moving people from cold to warm to hot. When they buy, they're hot. And when you deliver, they're hotter. They're a trusted client. So if I were to say to each of you, hey, you need to get this software, it's going to help you automate your sales process. Okay. You're going to check it out, probably do it. So you can sell your own products and services or other people's products and services. This is an important thing. When you're in the delivery stage, doing SEO, what are the other things that you might be able to recommend to a client, either yours or somebody else's?
Email marketing, social media, and there are a lot of other things.
Yeah, and the smart people, if you get really good at this, You can recommend somebody else's services. They're doing all the delivery and you're taking a chunk of the revenue. So if you 10% off of, a social media package, let's say the social media package that somebody's doing now is $5,000 a month. You're making $500 a month for saying, hey, you should be doing this. It's just an example, but right. So that's now you're mastering one part. You could also add additional products or services, and that's fine too. We'll get there, but I want you to get your first one going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you're seeing the right way. Ani, you probably have the same thing, right? You have other products and services. The key I want people to understand is you don't always have to try to build and deliver everything, right?
That sounds good.
Master one thing, but then be a resource for the other things. Okay, so yeah, it's very similar process no matter what product you're selling. Every person's going through some kind of a sale, right? So especially high ticket stuff, which is what all of you are selling, even Jeff, and it's a different process. Here's the thing. It's a different process for each type of client too, and for each product and service, which is why I tell people, simplify your business in the beginning. Have this kind of thing when you're doing high ticket stuff makes a lot of sense. Jeff's selling a $1,000 to $1,500, product. So his game is how do I educate everybody, right? He doesn't have an assess and qualify. He's creating interest, making a pitch, delivering a product, and then that's, he should be going into a referral stage after that. So that doctor should become a referral source, right? And move them through that pathway. But his thing is, how many units can I turn? Donna has, she's got a low ticket item with her jellies. So she's got a fast decision-making process. I'm trying to help each of you make your decision-making process faster, because Ani already identified the faster somebody makes that decision, the more conversions we have. So the cleaner and easier we can make it and the more emotionally compelling, the faster you're going to turn that meter. Okay. All right. Was this helpful?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to see this from each of you. I'll shoot you a picture of this so that you have it, but I'd like to see your first draft as soon as you can. Okay. So that you start getting it, and then you'll put this up on your wall, fine tune it, change the language however you want, but let's start looking at your business as the stages. Okay.
Okay. It makes sense a lot.
Yeah. Putting the chunks of your business in place. Okay. So, well, that was an interesting aside. I didn't plan that, but it became apparent. Anything else that either of you wants to focus on for the next 8 minutes?
You said last time that we should also prepare something for the next year, like the goal plans for the next year. How it will work? When should we prepare something in advance and then discuss, or?
Yeah, basically what you want to look at is in the very simplest stage. I think we actually put the doc together for you. Let me look here. Just confirm.
Now you have 33 days challenge to finish this year.
You're on the live streams. I like it. Ani, do you know what she's talking about?
No.
So I decided that I got so much stuff I got to get done for each of my companies / projects, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a daily live stream. Yesterday there was 34 days left. Today there's 33 days, 32, so on and so on. And so I'm teaching everybody how to just close out the year incredibly strong and go on this 33-day challenge with me now. So I'm live streaming every day for a couple of minutes. talking about, what we got done. Here's how to build your list. Here's how to organize your list, take action, get into gear so that, you're in momentum January 1st. You're not trying to get momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So you may want to check it out. We started it yesterday. I already did one for today, but it's go time. Okay.
No, but it's good. It helps. It helps when you have the group of people doing the same thing, so you cannot go out of track.
Yeah, it's just massive action. It's the fastest way to create amazing results. All right, so here's what
I liked also I liked another thing that you said, get out of your head and do the stuff. Like,
quit thinking, get into action.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay. So here's what we're going to measure. Annual sales, so put your goal in. I'll make sure you get a copy of this. Okay. Annual sales, what's your goal? Then we'll measure your actual, and it'll go month to month. So, you'll see January, February, March, and then Q1. Okay. So yeah, you want to look at your annual goals, and then we're going to break it into quarters and by month. We can fine tune and tweak these, but you want to at least start with annual sales. And then that'll tell us, all right, based on, how many leads do we think we need coming into this system in order to hit my sales goal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what was your sales goal for the month? What was the actual, and what was the percent to goal? Okay. Remember, sales and revenues are different, right? And then this will be, let me clean this up a little bit. I don't think they want to do this daily ritual stuff. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. At the bare minimum, look at your revenue goals. Is that us or it's Ani's? Okay. So yeah, we're going to look at your revenue goals, and we'll break it down into from there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have an idea of what your annual revenues you want for 2018?
I have to think.
Okay. And Ani, how about you?
So I'm sorry, what was the annual for next year?
Yeah, annual 2018 revenue goal.
120.
120, that's it?
Okay, I'll increase it.
Well, how are you gonna survive on $120,000 in San Diego?
Yeah. Okay. I'll increase it. I'll work some numbers. I need to launch the products.
Maybe. Your services are high ticket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just running into an issue of bandwidth, or what?
Yeah.
What came up when I said that's it?
Well, yeah, mostly, my bandwidth, where I get projects and then they just, it takes too long for the project to complete a project.
The delivery stage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to have to work on that.
So that's why I'm thinking of doing more product-based, or if I do have to do project management, that's going to be even a lot higher ticket. Just need to find a way to be more efficient.
Well, either that or you're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where's the money made in yours is in the selling of the service.
In the service, and then also in the purchasing. If they want me to purchase on their behalf, there's always a commission component to everything I purchase.
Yeah. Okay, so good. So when you do yours, those are the two revenue pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So the purchasing. So where was it? So this is your green, right? The purchase stage is green. And the pitch, or where's the contract? Or is it in the design? We're missing the contract stage. Where was that?
Yeah, so in right after the proposal is the contract.
So is it underneath here, or is
Mm-hmm.
is there another?
Yeah, it's right under proposal contract.
Okay, so that's where you collect a deposit or you collect some kind of a payment, right?
Yes.
That's your 2 revenue points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what we're constantly working towards. Each of these stages, right now is being done by you, right? But in theory, this could be done by somebody else so that you could run the business, own the business.
Mm-hmm.
If you had enough leads coming in, enough people, creating the interest, assessing and qualifying, doing the proposal and pitch, doing the design, doing the purchase and install, you don't necessarily have to be the one doing that. So you could scale it up. If we went 10x on your business, instead of 150,000, you did 1.5 million, you could afford to hire the staff to do these stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm starting to see a little bit about what's going on because you're wearing all the hats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have to do that in the beginning, but if we systemize this, I think you'll go, okay, I've got enough business now. I need to hire somebody to do the stuff that's taking most of my time and doesn't make me the most business, most revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. Well, that helps. So think about your goal. Think about your financial goal. Okay. Mm-hmm. And come back. We'll work with it. Like I said, it's not written in stone. It's written in sand. So if you come back and say, well, it was 150,000, I think I can do 250. I think I can do 500. Shit, let's go for $1 million. Whatever the goal is, we'll look at what would it take to deliver that goal. Mm-hmm. Some businesses are built to do $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, but they won't do 50 million or 100 million. There's either not enough business, or it's too niched, or it's just, the profit margins don't increase as you scale. Some businesses do better in the 1 million range because your margins are higher. You start hiring too many staff or this or that. Some businesses, they do better at 5 million or 10 million or 50 million. And some do better at 100 million. Okay. All right. Cool. So, Bill, did I answer your question about what to focus on? Just focus on your revenue goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Anything else before we wrap up?
No.
No? All right, cool. So we are on for, when's our next one?
Next week.
Next week. Crap. That is really tough. Would either of you be opposed to doing on the 13th?
No, that's better because that'd be after my move. So
13th and the 20th?
I will be traveling. I should be at home, or I can do that on mobile. I think I will be at home at night. For me, it's the 9 in the evening.
So you
okay.
could,
Yeah, yes, I can manage it somehow.
Okay. Yeah, let's move that. I'm traveling also, and I know it's going to be hard that day. And so, okay, awesome. I'll let Jen know, and if that still works for everybody, we'll move to the 13th and the 20th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rock and roll. Let me know as soon as you have this. Get them over to me.
Yes.
I want to see your first draft. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Have a good one.
Bye. Bye.